What is the resultant intensity in terms of yoga? The Kundalini is sleeping above the Khanda, dispensing liberation to yogis and bondage to fools. He who knows that knows yoga. Kundalini is the man's basic resultant intensity minus intensity resulting in bondage, high plus resulting in liberation. Through purified desire and sanctified emotions, he provides those stable vibrations. The cultivation of emotional tranquility is one of the first steps. Further, when the body is purified and its energy rightly directed, and when the rhythm is achieved, the life becomes radiant. What exactly is meant by pranayam? The steps necessary for the achievement of yoga are यम नियम आसन प्राणायाम pratyahara dharana dhyan samadhi. The first four and not only the fourth step is pranayam. Breathe alone has very little to do with it. Through the art of breathing is one of the means of bringing the prana under control, energy or nerve impulse. It can be called the art of controlling of the nerve impulses, for the real object of pranayam is to control the nerve impulses and nerve centers. Prana is impulse, Vayu is the current of impulses. The sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic or the autonomic nervous system have the ability to carry impulses. Currents received from within the body or from outside the body, either coming from other human beings or from other terrestrial or cosmic sources, or from food, drink, breathing, sensation of sound, touch, sight, and smell, are converted into incoming coded impulses or outgoing decoded thoughts. Pranayam therefore signifies the controlling of energies, the impulses of autonomic nervous system, and the numerous activities of the body caused by them. It prevents disposition or dissipation of energies and directs it along a particular channel. It means the controlling of impulses received as well as directing of energy thus received. The autonomic nervous system has two sets of fiber, afferent and afferent. The first stops expiration and produces inspiration, and the second does the reverse. These fibers are excited to action while the alternative collapse and distension of the air vesicles of the lungs, where the vagus termination are situated. Pranayam is then in effect a process of bringing under control the autonomic nervous system, over which normally we have no control. Mistakenly, pranayam is regarded as regulation of breath alone. Pranayam is the art or technique of control of the impulses by the help of many factors, of which one such factor is breathing. Question 3. There is some one particular overpowering weakness in each individual against which all attempts at control fail. Is there no remedy for such crushing weakness? Can you suggest something else besides what you offer in your book? The breathing flows in a healthy person from the left and right nostril, alternatively for each duration of 1080 breaths for each nostril. In a healthy person not stabilized in yoga, it alternates every 17,000 to 18,000 breaths. The duration is equal but the number of breaths being more than in above case. A healthy person is healthy physically, mentally, emotionally and sexually. When the left nostril flows, the right ceases and vice versa. The rhythmic and balanced formula of the centers has been seen in 5:2:1 for the four center IESNM of the section 1 of the mind. The right nostril stands for intellectual center, left for the emotional, sex and moving. When the right nostril flows, the intellectual center is clear, active and tense. When the left flows, it dulls, confused and even dominated. About 17,000 and 18,000 breaths of a normal person takes about 1.5 hours or 90 minutes. This means that for 90 minutes the flow will be first in the left and then the right, and vice versa. Whenever the flow is in the left, the emotional or sex impulse would overpower or dominate the intellectual, and more of the emotional, sex, and moving coded impulses are received and registered. The 90 minutes flow is divided into 36 minutes of emotions, 36 minutes of sex, and 18 minutes of moving. But there are no watertight compartment, and it is not divided for the first 36 minutes, second 36 minutes, and third 18 minutes. The impulses reaches the center in mixed timing, but the total coded impulses received give the total time for each center accordingly. When impulses reach the moving center, the movement could be mental or physical. However, as the average person has the common ratio of 2:4:8:2, the right flows for 22.5 minutes only, the emotion for 45 minutes, sex for 90 minutes, and moving for only 22 minutes. This is the total flow of coded impulses to the perspective centers per every 3 hours duration, and for most part of the body the intellectual center is dull, confused, and dominated. The person with it also means therefore then the whole body is more negatively charged, and all that ill health symptoms of various types are also resultant thereon. The further away this irregularity of breath is from the normal will be denoted the malady a person would suffer, whether intellectual, emotional, sex, or moving. Even in sleep, our dreams are dependent on the flow of breath from a particular nostril, its duration, and the center concerned. Perhaps medical opinions may or may not agree, but one should accustom oneself to sleeping on the left side so that the right nostril may have the greater flow. The unbalanced flow from the left nostril creates high minus resultant intensity due to overactive conditions of emotional, sex, and moving centers, and such a person is therefore prone to anger, sex, depression, strained nerves, and inferiority complex. Can one blow the breath out through the mouth and simultaneously be able to drink also? Natural laws bring about obvious and definite results. Can one therefore have a predominantly left nostril flow and yet have a high plus intensity of thoughts? It will be learned from experience that whenever an overpowering weakness is predominant, then predominance of flow will be in the left nostril. Whenever a malady or disease is oppressive, the left nostril will be active out of proportion as explained. What is the remedy therefore? To wait till the rhythm of 5-2-2-1 is stabilized would take a long time. 3-step rhythmic breathing and corrective methods will also take their own time to be understood, mastered, and then to be effective. But kind nature and God have always provided for the sincere some means to made use of. We suggest that you block the left nostril from first 15 to 20 weeks between 1 and 2 p.m. in the afternoon with plain sterilized cotton. When told to block the nostril, one should not feel uneasy. No person on earth can breathe through both the nostrils. We always breathe through one at a time. However, if this blocking with cotton is uncomfortable, the plug can be replaced every 10 or 15 minutes during the specified time. One gets used to this after a few days, then slowly increase the time after first 15 to 20 weeks from 12:30 to 14:30 p.m. After about 5 weeks, further increase this time from 12 noon to 15 p.m. In the meantime, proper methods and disciplines as outlined will slowly bring about the 5-2-2-1 rhythm in the body. Further to these 3 hours at the evening hours, after 5 weeks, block also in the evening from 8 to 9. After first further weeks, block from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. and after further 5 weeks block 7 to 10 p.m. Neither is this blocking uncomfortable nor is the blocking visible. If the plug is fine, light and small, it is also very beneficial to carry a fairly heavy book tightly held in the left armpit. Question 4. What are the Vayu Nadis and describe them broadly? The important Vayu Nadis are Ida, Pingla, Sushumna, Gandhari, Hastajiva, Pusha, Yashaswini, Alambusha, Kushu, Shanklini. Numbers 1 and 2 stand for breathing and smell. 3 and 4 are for the eyes or seeing. 5 and 6 are for the ears or hearing. 7 and 8 for mouth and tongue for taste and speech. 9 and 10 are for penis and perineum and the network between them for touch. The Vayu means a current of impulses or flow of impulses. These impulses, as we seen earlier, could be physical, chemical, electrical, radioactive, magnetic, cosmic, and coming through food and drink, breathing and sensation of sound, smell, touch, and hearing, etc. Whenever by proper 3-step rhythmic breathing and other disciplines, the rhythm 5-2-2-1 stabilized, section 2, 3, and 4 are developed. Even the complete formation of section 2 is sufficient to make section 3 of the mind active. Forming of section 3 and 4 clears the way and high plus intensity flows through unobstructed and brings about, or rather makes it possible for the correlation and proper operation of section 2, 3 and 4 of the mind. This in turn brings decoded thoughts, forms and other valuable knowledge and wisdom from section 2, 3 and 4 to intellectual center of section 1. The Vayu Nadis in short comprise the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, the autonomic nervous system. The control of impulses with 3-step rhythmic breathing and other corrective methods will play an increasingly important part in our existence in the future. If, for example, the nadis Ida and Pingla are for breathing and smell, why do we take their origin in the Mooladhara chakra and twist round the spinal column and end in the left and right nostril respectively? Mooladhara chakra is the pelvic plexus of the sympathetic system. Through the plexus, the sympathetic makes complete relationship with the spinal cord, where it joins the brain at the tail end of both sympathetic trunks and in the pelvic plexus. The nadi Sushumna passes through the spinal cord. It originates inside the sacrum. It runs up the spine and pyrisis of the base of the skull and joins the Brahm chakra or cerebrum. This nadis at it ascend and reach the level of larynx, divides itself into two, an interior and a posterior. The interior goes towards the Anjana chakra, the plexus of command. Between and behind the eyebrows, and so reaches section 2 of the mind and joins the cavity in the brain. The posterior passes from behind the skull and joins Brahmarandhra. It is this posterior position which is to be developed by the student of yoga. The various powers are described by Patanjali in his Yoga Sutra are the powers of section 3 of the mind, and this when formed completely is capable of demonstrating all that has been enumerated in Yoga Sutra. By constant control of the working of the sympathetic cord, it is possible to put a stop to the catabolic activities of the bodies, suspend the general wear and tear of the tissues of the vital organ and the whole body in general. This control should begin with the Ida and Pingla nadis, the 3-step rhythmic breathing which forms a connecting link between the prevertebral plexus of the sympathetic system and the spinal cord. The reader will realize the importance of the 3-step rhythmic breathing, corrective methods, disinfectant chamber, discipline in food, drink, sleep, sex, and finally the formation of section 2, 3 and 4 of the mind, and the ultimate possibility thereby of functioning through the molecular and electronic bodies on the molecular and electronic planes. Question 5. What are the important chakras and give a short description. The important chakras or plexus are Mooladhara, pelvic, Swadhisthana, hypogastric, Kundali solar, Anatha cardiac, Kantha Visuddhi, pharyngeal, Anjana, Nieso. Each chakra or center has its fixed resultant intensity according to natural law, which are in fixed ratio to each other. However, seldom does a human being have the resultant intensity required in each chakra or plexus. The scriptures have given them the name of ruling deities. The resultant intensity of chakra or plexus is this deity and exerts an inhibitory influence through subsidiary nerve center in the spinal cord and control unconsciously the activities of the organ excited by fibers of the sympathetic plexus. The names of the presiding deities are Dakhni, Rakhni, Lakhni, Kakini, Sakini, Hakini. They are excited by the resultant intensity of the entire person, which is then the Kundalini or the basic resultant intensity of a being. It is therefore said that the excitement of all the chakras take place always through the Kundalini. To put it crudely, it is the agitator of consciousness. To create impetus, and the cosmic impulses are communicated through the Kundalini and in turn to various chakra or centers, and they in turn excite the organ and nerves and the relevant portion in the grey matter, and so our desire are born. From the desires come action, and from action reaction, or what is termed fruit of action, and the whole chain is